Dudes and dudettes, how are you guys? This is Chazzy and welcome back to The Mixer, the segment on this channel where I give you guys all sorts of detailed analyses from all walks of life. I'll talk about people, places, animals, food, sports, traveling, the whole 9 yards, hence why it's called The Mixer, right? Because I like to mix things up in this huge playlist here with over 200 videos at this point. And I'm very surprised that I memorized that intro because it's been a good minute since I've done a video for YouTube. It's been, I'm pretty sure, at least a month at this point since I've uploaded something. It's not just uploading, it's been a month since I've actually recorded anything at all, right? My last video was finishing up Cuphead, and since then I just kind of, I guess I unpeaked and went downhill a bit. And there's a reason for that. My personal life has gone off the rails in the last month or so. Things have been really hard on me, and that's why I haven't really had the motivation to come back to this platform here. But as you guys can see, there are some changes, some very imminent, obvious changes, right? Yes, guys, I know I cut my freaking hair since the last video. Okay, I look a little better now, although it's growing again, and I'm trying to angle myself there, looking behind the camera so it doesn't cut off here, for example, or do this, not enough. I think I'm pretty good angle. So yes, got my haircut, looks good, and wearing a nice shirt today. But of course, let's talk about the elephant in the room. Yes, I'm aware that the background is now slightly different, all right? And it's good for me because I like to change up things every now and again. I'm still in the same place as I was before, but I just thought that this setup would make it look better. I have a little mirror behind the camera to see how I am, if I'm in the right position. I hope I'm centered, and it looks good. It looks nice. It's not exactly a conventional YouTube background, with pop culture stuff, but hey, at least it's something, right? And it looks good. I think the lighting's going to improve a lot too. And the camera settings, I think the background looks a little bit more blurred, so there's that to look forward to. But anyway, guys, one of the reasons that I've been away from YouTube is that my mental health has plummeted lately. It's actually hit rock bottom, on more than one occasion in the past, few months or so, and I've been struggling with a lot of things, right? And it's been really hard to come to YouTube and create content for you guys because I don't know, I guess maybe I haven't really felt very creative, right? And I made the decision, over a year ago at this point, to move back in with my parents because of some job related things, not enough time to spend time at home and whatnot. Not enough time to spend time at home. Yeah, that makes sense, right? But living with other people has really hampered my creativity and my desire to make content because things aren't the same as they were before, right? And I have actually found a bit of solace, in other places. I've started to do therapy, and I've really poured myself into my work, right? I still love my job a lot, and it's really cool, to go out there and teach English, to kids and teens and whatnot, right? But I have found a very nice creative outlet in recent times, which is Letterboxd, right? I've actually been using Letterboxd for a few years at this point. I don't know exactly when I started, but my cousin turned me on to it, maybe what was it, back in 2022 perhaps, or 23? I know that I've had it for a while, but recently I actually signed up for the Patreon version, right? The highest tier of the paid version of Letterboxd, right? And there are quite a few different perks, and the app in and of itself, the core app is used for, cinephiles to talk about movies. You can rate and review them, keep track of the ones that you've seen, right? And it adds up, as the more movies you watch, the more the numbers go up, and the main number goes up to see how many films you watched in your entire lifetime, and you can also make lists, of whatever the heck you want to talk about, whether it's top 10, 25, top 50 collections, this and that, right? Talk about your favorites, make a little profile. It's like a little social media handle where you can, interact with other people, you can leave comments and stuff, right? And people can like your reviews and your lists and everything else. So I think it's really cool. You can tag some films with keywords and stuff, right? And it's basically something that for a cinephile like myself, you guys should know that I talk about movies a lot on YouTube. I love talking about cinema in general, right? I do reviews and other things as well. And I think even recently, over a month ago, I did one called talking about legacy sequels. I remember this video here, I love talking about movies in general, but Letterboxd is something that really helps me to not just embrace that, but kind of have a therapeutic tool to, just feel a little bit better about my personal life and have something to do and strive towards. And I don't know, it just makes me really happy, And as of this month, there are over 20 million registered users on Letterboxd right now, and it's freaking crazy, man. And I have actually recently come up on, I am now sitting at exactly 1,702 movies watched, across my entire lifetime. And that is something to brag about in this video here that probably very few people are going to watch anyway. But let me explain a little bit more about this app itself and how it's essentially saved my life in a way. those of you guys who have watched my channel for a while, or even if you're a recent subscriber, maybe the last couple of years or so, you should still know that I suffer from depression, and it's something that has, continuously plagued my personal life for a very long time now, and it's something that I'm very open about. I do talk about on YouTube every now and again. I try to avoid it, because it's something that I think kind of, just strays a little bit away from the kind of content that I want to make here, right? But on my other channel, it's something that I might go into later, Chazzy Plus, where I talk about this kind of thing. But just as a little bit of a preface, right, it is something that I have to constantly work on to not allow to completely overtake me and, bog down my life as well, right? Whether it's my professional life, my academic life, or this and that. And the reason that the correlation between my depression and Letterboxd is that this app has really helped me to just sort of, not just put things into perspective, because like I use Letterboxd as a way for me to explore my, my cinematic, let's say, my cinematic canvas, if that's the way that I can put it, right? Because there are so many great movies out there, so many that I've already seen and so many that I still haven't seen. And, I have my own personal watch list. I make collections, and I like to tick them off as I watch the movies, right? So I as a cinephile, I want to strive to live to watch more movies, to talk about them with people, to make better content on YouTube or anywhere else, And I've always felt that no matter what has gone on in my personal life, cinema has always helped me to kind of keep myself grounded, Because certain movies are not just movies. They are full-on experiences, I can give you an example of one that I saw some time ago, which was Avengers Infinity War. I'm not going to give you any spoilers or anything, but if you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. If you had the pleasure of watching a movie like that in theaters, you know what I mean. It's not even a viewing experience. It's an almost an out-of-body ethereal experience. I don't know how to describe it. It's crazy. There are some movies that just transform the way you think, and throughout the time that you're watching them, it's kind of like escapism from your life, which everybody can relate to. But to me, it's different, right? And being able to have a space where I can talk about movies freely and even, share my opinions however I want to, and also, interact with others who think the same way, it feels really good. And like I don't know, I like to write, I like to unleash my creative outlet just a little bit through social media and other things as well. I write a lot of stuff on Twitter, right? So, and YouTube as well, which for many years has been almost kind of like a therapeutic tool for me as well, to get some of my thoughts out there, Even if I don't necessarily always talk about the things that bother me, just making content and entertaining or informing others, all over the internet, just makes me feel really good. So Letterboxd, let me talk a little bit about Letterboxd, right? This app was founded back in October of 2011, so right now 13 years ago, right? Or we're in 2025, so well, technically 14, because October is already next month, or maybe this month. I don't even know when I'm gonna upload this video. So no, it's actually been 14 years, right? And the headquarters is in Auckland, New Zealand, right? So, and the thing is, it's a Kiwi app, because Kiwis are people from New Zealand, right? Okay, that was dumb. All right, but like, and because the app only offers an English version, in many non-English speaking countries, it's difficult for people to use it, right? I have students here, for example, who try to get into it, but like because it's literally only in English and there's no Portuguese version to help them out, they kind of stray away a little bit. But I'm sure in the future they can have translations of it, right? But it's so strange because, oh, and by the way, the name of the app itself, Letterboxd, right? This actually comes from an expression called letterboxing from the cinematic world, right? Which is the practice of placing black bars on the edges of a screen to preserve a movie's original aspect ratio, right? So you can transform it into widescreen so you don't lose the actual, size of the freaking screen of the movie that the movie was shot in with the cameras, right? And that's where it came from. I believe it's really nice, and also they like you can log movies there, but I believe now you can also do TV shows, but it's really not the same because it's kind of an app made for movies. So when I see people logging TV shows, I'm like, just use serialized or something. No, but hey, whatever. People can use it however the heck they want to, It's all good. But to me, it's something that the very ability itself, and it has this outside vendor called the Movie Database, where that provides the list of movies that you can find there, right? It's so intuitive, and at first it is a little tough to figure out, but like just like any regular app that you use, every app in the beginning is a little hard to get used to. But once you pick up on it, it just becomes so easy and streamlined. I actually think it's even fun. There was a recent recent Android update, you know, that makes it look like the iOS version. I think it's amazing. It's incredible. The interface is so cool now. At first I was okay, this is a little weird, it's strange, but after you get used to it, it's like it's been there all along, right? So kudos to the design team for making that creative decision there. But you know, the practice of logging films that you've seen, and you can also write reviews, you know, and I'm the kind of person who likes to write long reviews, almost like short essays, you know. All of my Letterboxd reviews are 4 paragraphs long each, you know, so I got a little bit of the intro talking about what the movie's, you know, introducing itself as, and then a little bit of the plot and some of the elements and what I consider, you know, to be pros and cons. Then I talk a little bit about the production, the post-production, the editing, the this and that. Then later a little final, you know, caveat there, one of my personal thoughts and this and that, and boom, I wrapped it up. Right? I try to follow that same standard for every single movie that I watch, but you don't have to do it that way. There are people who write like 1-sentence reviews, which honestly I think is kind of annoying. You know, I think it's stupid. I mean, I'm not trying to spit on anybody, but I think it's dumb. If you have the ability to do something better, you just write like 1 stupid sentence or 2 or 3 words, but whatever, man. People can do whatever the heck they want, but I prefer to, you know, be a self-proclaimed film critic who takes movies way too seriously. That's literally my bio on Letterboxd, by the way. But okay, I think I'm getting a little bit off topic here. Let's go back to, let's talk about Patreon now, the ultimate paid tier version. Now look, there are a lot of features, you know, in the Letterboxd paid versions, because there's the regular version, there's the pro version, there's the Patreon version, right, which I went directly to, because there's no use for me to go pro and then see what Patreon offers and then not want that. So I went directly to the most expensive one, and I actually have not looked back. You know, I cannot imagine using Letterboxd without the Patreon version now, because for one thing, there are no ads. It's a completely ad-free experience, you know, and I hate ads on social media. It's so freaking annoying on YouTube as well, but I don't pay for YouTube Premium, you know, or, you know, I'm not going to do that because it's just annoying. But with Letterboxd Patreon, you know, you get a broader range of features, right? Like, for example, individual user data. So you can actually see the hours that you spent watching movies. So like every single movie that you've watched in your entire life that you log on Letterboxd, you can get, you know, how many hours that adds up to, how many directors, how many countries, right? You know, it's so interesting, how many languages as well. There are a lot of different individual stats, you know, your favorite directors, how the most directors of the directors whose movies you've most watched, and the actors as well, right? It's crazy, man, right? And the types of ratings that you give, because on Letterboxd you can give movies ratings from 1 to 5 stars. So 1 star, 1.5, 2, 2.5, 3, 3.5, and you know what I mean, right? So with 5 stars being the maximum, and I actually like to keep my ratings between always 1, 2, 3, 4, or exactly 5 stars. You know, I prefer to do it that way because it's a little better for me, right? I don't like to do like 3.5, 4.5, none of that. I always do exactly either 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 stars. You know, it's much easier for me. And you can there's also a tool for you to define, you know, if a movie is on a particular streaming service that you own, right, or if it's going to show up there eventually. Now, there actually are a lot of things that I can talk about, and I kind of have a few things written down here in a little cheat sheet because it's a lot of information, right? The ones that I can remember off the top of my head, aside from without the ads, are the personalized artworks, right? So you can actually go to a movie and change the custom poster to whatever the heck is popular, or, you know, on TMDB or whatever is like on a little poster. Custom art, you know, and it's really cool because when it's a connection, like for example Star Wars or Marvel or anything, right? When it's a series of long movies like a franchise, I like to look for custom posters that actually match, you know. And I have it's set on my profile to show up as my own, but I don't know if other people, because other people who have Patreon can enable that to show their custom posters. So I don't know if mine show up for me, so that's the important thing, right? I think it's really cool. You also, you know, you can make a little backdrop for not only your profile itself, a little banner up top, but also each individual list, you know. It's really cool. This makes it more visual and expressive, right? And there's also the patrons directory. You know, you can get your profile listed there, you know, in the dedicated patrons directory, which I actually haven't even seen that, but I guess maybe my profile and everybody else's who pays for Patreon gets kind of like its own little highlighted tab somewhere, right? Also beta access, you know, we can get new early access, you know, to new features and updates, which I think is really awesome, right? Which I think is already normal for every single app where you pay to use it. You're always going to get early access to features and stuff. And also, you know, here we go here. So everything that the pro tier has, Patreon has, right? So for example, you get your advanced stats. It's the annual and all-time stats for viewing habits and preferences, you know. So like I said earlier, every single movie, all of the hours, you can do that year by year, you know, starting with the earliest movie that you've watched, you know, that year, that decade. You can filter it however the heck you want, right? The genres that you prefer show up as well, the languages, so how the percentages, how many movies that you've seen, you know, in a particular genre and what language they're in, right? The bars go up, and it's so crazy, man. It's really cool because I love using Microsoft Excel, for example. I'm a very organized person with lists and this and that, so to me it looks really cool, right? And it's really nice to keep track of that, and there's so much to do that I don't even have the time to look through it all because there's so much stuff, right? And like I said earlier, you know, integrate your favorite streaming services, which I think I've used only for, you know, Netflix, Prime, Disney Plus, you know, which are the 3 ones that I use. You got your activity and list management, you know. You can filter your stream there by typing, get tools to manage your lists, right? You can actually pin lists to your profile, you know. If you're a patron, you can pin 2 reviews and 2 lists to your profile, you know, only 2, which I think is okay. I would have liked to have more, but 2 is okay because if I had 5, the profile is going to get too long. So I guess 2 is actually pretty okay. Maybe even 1 would have been nice, but it's okay to be able to pin something, you know. And also content ownership tracking, where you can mark and track the films that you own, which I imagine is the one that if you actually own a film somewhere in real life, a physical copy, that's how you actually express yourself, right? And that's pretty much essentially it. There are a lot of other things, man, that Patreon offers, and of course the online gratitude of everybody at Letterboxd HQ, right? It's really nice. And I also get access to a few other random lists as well, like for example the worldwide box office 200 the 100 what was the freaking list? Hold on. All right, here we go. The all-time worldwide box office. It's a list that's done by Matthew Butchinen, who's a crew member, right? This is one of the lists that you get access to as a patron, right? And you can see the numbers go up. But this is my favorite one because, as he himself said, it's based on the numbers all-time top 100 films by worldwide gross, unadjusted for inflation, and it gets updated on a monthly basis, you know? So right now I am at 72%. So I've watched 72 of these 100 movies here. Can you guys see it? I'm not gonna get to, let me try to get a little closer, see if it'll focus. I think it will. Do you guys see it? Okay, so right here, Avatar is the poster. So these 100 movies here, I'm actually working on watching every single one of them so I can make this list get to 100%, you know. Hopefully you guys can see it, right? It's all good. And maybe I can even show you my profile while I'm at it here since it focused on the phone. Did it focus on the phone? Let me make sure it focused on the phone, guys. I think so. So I got a little Wizard of Oz here, you know, with my as the banner, because my top favorite films are Wizard of Oz and 2001: A Space Odyssey. Got a little notification there, just ignore that. Got Pulp Fiction, and you have, the heck was my last one? Parasite, you know. So I got here my recent activity, the movies that I've been reviewing, you know. Got all my stats here, but I pinned 2 reviews, the 2 Avatar movies, and I also pinned 2 lists, top 10 horror, top 10 drama, you know. So it's all good. Let me see if I can focus the camera back on myself now. I hope that worked. Okay, so, and that's essentially it, guys. Oh, the notification was from Facebook. I don't care. Who even uses Facebook anymore? Well, apparently I do because it's there. But that's it, you know. I think I've been rambling on a lot, you know, but basically Letterboxd is a really fun way, you know, for people to connect, you know, through their love of cinema, movies in general. And if you guys want to follow me, if you have Letterboxd, you know, I believe that in the description of every video is a link to my profile there, but you know, it's at Igor Chesterfield, you know, or just random Igor Chesterfield. I don't even know how you would find somebody there. Just go and filter by all, you know, at the very end when you search, and you'll eventually find me. And you guys can follow me. Let's talk about movies. Drop a comment on my reviews, my list. You know, I love interacting with people. I have always been a little antisocial on Letterboxd. I usually go just to log my movies and make reviews and lists, and I dip, you know, I just bounce. But now I've actually been interacting more with people, you know, people who follow me and who I follow back, and we actually have a little good connection there. And it's nice to make friends, you know, it's really cool. And it's not even clickbait when I say that Letterboxd saved my life, you know, because in a way it kind of did, because I was going through a very dark period in my personal life with very, very bad thoughts, you know, of things that I don't care to get into in this video here, or even on YouTube itself, because there are certain rules that we have to adhere to, and there are certain things that aren't allowed to be spoken about in a certain way. But maybe I'll get to that on Chazzy Plus, okay? But that's basically it, guys. That's the video that I want to, that's the point that I wanted to make in this video here. I love Letterboxd. It's really cool, and it's been kind of helping me to get myself through the day, you know, all the things that have been going on. And it's really insane, honestly, how an app talking about movies can have such a profound impact on somebody, you know, and it's really nice. And I'm grateful for, you know, the crew, you know, who have You know, the founders, Matthew Butchland himself and Carl Van Randau, you know, got their names down here, right? So it's cool, man. It's cool, right? And I just hope it stays here for many years and I can keep using it to do the work that I do, you know. I've actually been working on reviewing every single Marvel movie in the Infinity Saga and a little bit of the multiverse as well. I've already done the 3 Iron Mens, you know, the 4 Thors, and now I'm gonna work on the 4 Captain Americas, you know. By the time this video gets uploaded to my channel, I'll probably have, you know, the Winter Soldier already logged there, you know, reviewed, so that's something for me to look forward to. And it's all good, man. Everybody can use the app in their own way, but I prefer to do it in the most organized OCD way possible because that's just how I am, you know. It's all good, man. But guys, if you made it this far, thank you, you know, thank you for your support. I hope you guys enjoyed the new background scenario because that's how I'm going to be recording these videos moving forward. I'm going to be taking a break soon from the channel again, but this is going to be a self-imposed one, right? And I'll explain that in another video, updating you guys pretty soon. But first I got to get through this and reviewing something that I did recently, so there's that to look forward to. So let's see where it goes. Anyway, if you guys happen to enjoy this video, please go ahead and give it a like and also subscribe to my channel because I release videos every single week, or at least I'm trying to, not anymore, right? And hit the notification bell so you can know exactly what time I upload. Hit my other channels up, you know, Chazzy Plus for extra content, Chazzy Cast for podcast, got the Chazzy Cast, you know, BR for Portuguese podcast, the whole 9 yards, right? And it's all good, guys. Thanks for being here. Drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about Letterboxd or movies or whatever, or life. Let's chat. This is Chazzy signing out for now, and as always, I will see you guys in the next video. Roll the outro screen. God, I missed saying that.